They say I'm just totally out of it. Well, the truth is it's really all of you. All of you are just totally fucked up. You just don't have that magical prescription. That magical prescription that'll take you to the next level of perception.
Well, I've heard that same claim for 15 years now. And I keep waiting for them to produce some sort of evidence.
Sir, department.
It's really bugging me, she's talking again. It's so embarrassing, I look at my friends. They think she's psycho cause she's talking and talking and talking, talking and talking and talking. She's talking again. I need a cigarette, she's talking again. I wish we never met, she's talking again. She's like a TV set, she's talking and talking and talking and talking and talking.
Okay, let's listen to this liar. She's a liar, and she needs to be called out on what it is. She is lying for her sister. She's a liar. And she always says she hates to be called a liar. Quit letting me catch you in a...
Something, because I think maybe you're just confused on dates, and it does make a difference in this situation. So attacks happened on June 6th, 1996. Darlie was in the hospital until June 8th. She left.
Even though the physician wanted to keep her longer.
What? Even though the physician wanted to keep her longer. There was no physician that wanted to keep her longer and suggested that she stay. In fact, the reason that she was there after the exploratory surgery, he put her so she could heal from the trauma that she just dealt with. He knew that this woman was attacked, her kids were attacked, and he wanted her to rest. Had she just came in with that cut on her neck, they would have did the surgery, sewed it up, let her sit for a while, and sent her home. She did not lose enough blood. She was not in that much of a trauma to be kept. It was just this situation, extenuating situation is what Dr. Alex Santos called it. He says in his testimony that he would sew her up and send her home had it been a different situation. This woman is a liar. She's a big fat liar for her sister.
They left because they had the funeral that evening. She was at the funeral.
They did not leave the hospital. You know, as a matter of fact, Dr. Alexis Santos, his testimony, when he was asked was she anxious to get to the funeral, he said her husband was.
From the hospital to the police station, gave them her first written statement. From there, she left the police department and came to her son's funeral. She was at the funeral. We did not take any pictures of Darlie at the funeral. I know that there was some video footage taken. I can't get a hold of any of that. I wish somebody would find a way to get a hold of that and see if you can see the bruising on Darlie's arms. You won't see it on her upper arms because
you can still see evidence of bruising on her arms, even at the Silly Strings party. You can see with the arms, the head bruising where she was, the arm that was cut deep. That bruising was there. You can see that from the cut, and that's normal from the cut.
She was wearing sleeves, if I remember correctly, but her lower arms, you would probably be able to see some of that bruising already. She went to the funeral. After the funeral, she came back to our house in Plano. She was with somebody 24/7 until they arrested her, essentially.
She was with somebody 24/7, including going back to the house that day to clear the fountain off of the stuffed animals and toys that had been left there for the boys as a memorial. Witnessed by Danelle Watts across the street, Darlie and Darren playing catch and her jumping up and down and being happy. You know, they want us to think that she was so scared that she was with someone at all times after the attack. She wouldn't even go to the bathroom by herself. So what Danelle does is she maximizes the wounds and the medical condition of Darlie. We've seen her on 2020 say that Darlie lost half her blood that night, and she was crying. And, you know, she lost half her blood. She wants you to believe that a superficial wound does not mean a minor wound. And now she's going to tell us that she left the hospital even though the doctors didn't want her to go. There's no testimony, no statement, nothing anywhere in the Darlie Routier case that said they wanted her to stay in the hospital. But she left anyway. She had no reason to be in the hospital after the bleeding had stopped, after they got her sutured up. So they put her in ICU to keep her away from. They want you to think that she was an intensive care unit patient, but she wasn't. She put her in ICU. They put her there just to keep her away from people, not because she had severe injuries. This woman is a liar.
The birthday party itself, which is what you're talking about, what was recorded by Joe Munoz, Fox 4 News, that was actually not until June 14th.
She also says that the Joe Munoz, they just kind of showed up at the gravesite. They weren't asked to be there. They weren't paid. They just kind of showed up there, and they, so they were paid and they were invited. Joe Munoz had the exclusive of the entire coverage of that whole case through the trial and everything. He'd been to Kerrville. He'd been over to the hospital. He'd been to Raleigh Police Department. He'd been over to Karen Neal's house. He'd been everywhere following that case. He had the exclusive. No one else was covering that case like him. And they paid for that. They paid. They paid travel expenses. Now, I know that Darlie and Darren did have tickets, and they may have gave those tickets away to somebody, but they didn't have hotel.
The bruises had significantly decreased by that point. There was still some bruising left, but not like you saw in those pictures. So that's where your discrepancy is. The bruising at the birthday parties, there was some bruising there, but that was 8 days after the attack. So it was not 3 days. Let's see, what did you say? But completely black and blue 3 days prior to the birthday party for pictures. The birthday party was June 14th. So that's why they were less noticeable and healed, because that's what bruises do. Okay, I hope that helps. Have a good day. Bye. Hey, I wanted to clarify something because I think maybe you're just confused on dates. And it doesn't.
I think you're just confused on facts. And I'm going to let this play just one more time because I like this lie to stand out.
Make a difference in this situation. So attacks happened on June 6th, 1996. Darlie was in the hospital until June 8th.
She left, even though the physician wanted to keep her longer.
The physician wanted to keep her longer.
You're a fucking liar, Danelle.
You're a liar. Justice for Devin and Damon.
You've done a lot of growing in that amount of time. I was reading in that book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, and it basically said that men are problem solvers.
She's talking again. It's really bugging me. She's talking again. It's so embarrassing. I look at my friends. They think she's psycho because she's talking and talking and talking, talking and talking and talking. She's talking again. I need a cigarette. She's talking again. I wish we never met. She's talking again. She's like a TV set. She's talking and talking and talking, talking and talking.